a whisper of doubt. I never wanted to believe she was cheating. I thought we were solid, unbreakable. We had built a life together, one that was supposed to stand the test of time. But something inside me kept nagging, little inconsistencies, small changes in her behavior. It started subtly. She began guarding her phone like it held the secrets of the universe. The late-night messages, the hushed conversations in the next room, the way she'd tilt her screen away from me when I walked by. It all added up to something I couldn't ignore. But I tried. I told myself I was paranoid, that I was overthinking things. After all, she was my wife, the woman I had trusted with my heart. Why would she betray me? Still, the signs were there. The sudden change in perfume, the extra effort in her appearance, the way she started spending more time at work, yet coming home less exhausted. She was different, distant. And then there was the one thing that broke me, her smile. She used to smile at me like I was her whole world. Now, that smile was reserved for her phone screen. I fought the suspicions for as long as I could, drowning in the hope that I was wrong. But hope is a dangerous thing when you're being lied to. So, I did something I never thought I would. I decided to test her loyalty. I wish I could say I felt good about it, that it was a decision I made with confidence. But it wasn't. It felt like betrayal in itself. A desperate act from a man who already knew the truth, but needed to see it with his own eyes. I reached out to a trusted friend, someone who had my back no matter what, someone who had seen too many men fall victim to blind trust. Together, we crafted a plan. The bait would be set. A carefully constructed social media profile, the perfect combination of charm and mystery, would slide into her DMs. If she was faithful, the messages would be ignored. If she wasn't, well, I'd finally have my answer. But I wasn't stopping there. A hidden camera in our home, discreet and untraceable, would capture anything that happened when I wasn't around. I wasn't just setting a trap. I was laying the foundation for an inescapable truth. The moment I pressed send on that first message, my heart pounded against my ribs like it was trying to break free. This was it, the moment of truth. I had no idea that what I was about to uncover would be far worse than anything I had imagined. The waiting was the worst part. My stomach twisted every time my phone buzzed, my fingers hovering over the screen before I forced myself to check. I wasn't sure what I wanted to see. A rejection of the bait that would let me breathe again, or undeniable proof that my gut instincts had been right all along. It didn't take long. Within hours, she responded. At first, it was innocent. Just a casual reply, the kind you'd expect from someone politely dismissing a stranger's advances. But I knew her too well. There was something in the way she wrote, an openness that went beyond mere courtesy. Curiosity. I could feel my pulse in my throat as I watched the conversation unfold. She played coy, asked questions. Who was he? How did he find her? She even joked about how flattering it was to get attention from someone new. That was the first crack in the illusion. The first confirmation that my fears weren't just paranoia. Still, I had to be sure. The next step was riskier. My friend, the one helping me orchestrate this test, took on the role of the mysterious stranger. He was careful, methodical, choosing words designed to test her limits. A compliment here, a flirtatious tease there. And then the real question, would she like to meet? Her reply came faster than I expected. Maybe. When? That was all I needed to see. The air left my lungs as if I had been punched. I sat there, staring at the screen, every nerve in my body screaming at me to stop reading. But I couldn't. Not yet. I had come this far. I needed to know just how deep the betrayal ran. The next few days became a blur of surveillance and waiting. I installed the hidden cameras in our home, strategically placing them in the living room and bedroom, places where I knew the truth would reveal itself. I used every ounce of strength. I had to act normal, to keep my voice steady when we spoke, to smile when she kissed me goodbye. She had no idea she was being watched. And then came the night that shattered everything. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel with white-knuckled hands, watching the live feed from the hidden cameras. I told myself I was ready, that whatever happened next, I could handle it. But nothing could have prepared me for what I saw. She wasn't just meeting him. She was inviting him into our home, into our bed, And just like that, the woman I had loved, the life I had built, the trust one had cherished, it all came crashing down. I don't know how long I sat there, watching the screen in stunned silence. Seconds? Minutes? It could have been an eternity. The footage played in real time, each frame another dagger to my already shattered heart. I should have looked away. I should have stopped torturing myself. But I couldn't. I needed to see it through, to witness every damning second. The way she laughed with him, touched him, whispered things into his ear. The intimacy that had once been mine now belonged to someone else. My hands trembled as I clenched the steering wheel, white-knuckled and breathless. My mind raced through 1,000 thoughts at once. Anger, pain, confusion, and then something else, determination. This wasn't going to end with me sitting in a car, broken and defeated. No, I had come too far for that. I took a deep breath, wiped my face, and grabbed my phone. It was time to set things in motion. Time to make sure she would regret every single choice that led her to this moment. The first step in my plan was simple. Act normal. She couldn't suspect a thing. I forced myself to walk into our home like nothing had happened, smiling as if my world hadn't just been ripped apart. My voice was steady, my hands didn't shake. I greeted her with a kiss, forcing myself to suppress the bile rising in my throat. She had no idea, and that gave me all the power. I spent the next few days preparing meticulously. Every document, every piece of evidence was collected and stored. I reached out to a lawyer, ensuring that when I made my move, it would be airtight. There would be no escaping the consequences of her actions. Then I planned the event, a dinner, a gathering of friends, family, and loved ones. The perfect setting to reveal the truth in the most devastating way possible. It was time to make my move. The evening of the planned dinner arrived. My heart pounded with a mixture of rage and anticipation as I watched guests file into the beautifully decorated hall. Family, friends, colleagues, all unaware of the storm about to break. She sat at the head of the table, radiant, oblivious. She laughed, clinked glasses, basked in the warmth of admiration and attention. To everyone here, she was the perfect wife, the devoted partner. But I knew better, and soon, they all would too. I stood, raising my glass, commanding the room's attention. Tonight, I said, my voice steady despite the fire raging inside me. I want to celebrate my wife. She's taken on a test recently, one that determines the very foundation of any strong relationship. Loyalty. A murmur rippled through the room as I gestured to the screen behind me. The first image flickered to life, a screenshot of her messages. Gasps, whispers, then the videos, the laughter, the intimate exchanges, the betrayal playing out before their eyes. She went pale, her wine glass slipping from her grasp, shattering against the floor. Her mother covered her mouth in shock. Her friends exchanged horrified glances. I turned to her, holding up a manila envelope. Divorce papers, ironclad, already signed on my end. Her voice shook. Please, we can talk about this. I met her gaze, unflinching. No, we're done. And with that, I walked away, leaving her with nothing but the wreckage of her own making. The aftermath was chaos. She chased after me, sobbing, pleading, grasping at whatever shreds of dignity she had left. Her hands trembled as she reached for mine, but I pulled away, disgust thick in my throat. The weight of her betrayal had crushed any trace of love I once held for her. Friends and family recoiled in shock. Her parents were speechless, their gazes heavy with disappointment. The shame was written across her face, the reality of what she had done finally sinking in. But it was too late. I had already moved out our shared finances, ensuring she was left with nothing. The house? Mine. The cars? Mine. Every asset we had built together was now locked away from her reach. She had gambled and lost everything. Her lover's wife received the evidence shortly after the dinner. The fallout on his end was just as catastrophic. Divorce papers were in the works for both couples, and his career took a nosedive when his employer caught wind of his indiscretions. And me? I was free. Walking away that night, I felt lighter than I had in years. No more secrets, no more doubts. Just the open road ahead, and a future untainted by lies. She had failed the test, and I had finally won. The days that followed were a blur of legal meetings, paperwork, and whispered condolences from people who barely knew what to say. But through it all, I felt something unexpected: peace. For the first time in years, I woke up without the weight of doubt on my shoulders. No more wondering where she was, who she was talking to, or what lies she was spinning. It was over, and I was free. She, on the other hand, was drowning. With no financial safety net, no friends willing to defend her, and the destruction of her reputation, she was left to face the consequences alone. I didn't take pleasure in her suffering, but I didn't feel pity either. She had made her choices. Now, she had to live with them. As for me, I started over. I moved to a new city, started fresh in my career, and even found joy in the small things again. Morning coffee in a quiet cafe, evening runs along the shore, the simple pleasure of knowing I was in control of my own life. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, I received a message from an unknown number. "I'm sorry. I miss you. Please, can we talk?" I stared at the words for a long moment before deleting them. No response. No hesitation. Just a clean break. Because for the first time in a long time, I was finally looking forward to tomorrow.